Hi, this is Chris from Clever Unicorn Games and the Unicorn Collective, back with another episode of Designer Playtesting. On this episode, we play test a game I made a couple of weeks ago, purely for the Unicorn Collective to download, playtest, and see what they thought of it. No real plans to launch the game in any way apart from that. It's just for people to break and, as a community, try and put together in a more cohesive package. We already did a recording of this game for the show last week, but unfortunately, due to a technical issue, I deleted it by accident. We have to re-record it. This is good because the people that are playing today were the same ones that played last week, and some of the changes that they came up with in the last session have been implemented into this game now, putting it hopefully in a better position. But we'll find out in a minute as we play it. Enjoy the show. Hi, this is Chris from Clever Unicorn Games and the Unicorn Collective. We're back with another episode of Designer Playtesting. With me today is...
Hello, I'm Patrick, designer of Funky Fruit card games. You can find us on Instagram by searching Funky Fruit Cards, but spelling funky with an I on the end instead of a Y.
Hi, I'm David, UK-based designer, developer and rulebook editor. You can find all my stuff on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/David Digby Board Games.
So, today we are here with Fractured System, which is a game that I created. I made it a couple of weeks ago in a day using assets from another game that I had left over and put it up onto Tabletop Simulator for the Unicorn Collective community to have a bash at and then give me feedback on. The game is a action pawn system with a certain amount of actions that you can do in your turn, allowing you to move your ships around, control space, attack people, so on and so forth. If we look at the boards in front of us, the basic rules are you take one of your little action pawns with the A on them and you place it onto one of the actions on the board. Each action can be done only twice per cycle, and if you notice there's a solar cycle at the top of the main board, the game runs for 12 cycles. So you use all 5 of your actions one at a time in turn order. Then you move the cycle along and you keep doing the same until the end of the game, or a person reaches 50 points. So I will zoom in on one of the boards here and explain the actions. So you have 5 actions you can do during the game. You have your explore action, which allows you to move ships up to their movement points, as shown in the shipyard to the right. Then you may draw an exploration card, which can be one of many things I'll go into shortly. Then you have your mobilize action, which allows you to move ships again up to your movement points, and then you may attack a square with a control marker, which I'll explain in a minute, a control token, or a ship. Then we have research, which allows you to adjust your shipyard, so it makes your ships better in certain areas. Then you have produce, which allows you to produce a ship on either your homeworld or a planet if you control it on the board. And then you have diplomacy, which allows you to place your control tokens, which is where the majority of the scoring comes from. So a solar cycle works as so. You start off with the action phase, as I've explained. Then you move on to the scoring phase once everybody's finished with their actions. In that, you go around checking control tokens where they are placed. So some squares have little shields on them, and if you control them in the scoring phase, you will get that many points. Also, the person with the most control tokens out on the board will get a bonus 1 point. Then we move on to the cleanup phase, which is basically removing any of your action tokens from your board ready for the next round, changing the first player, and move the solar cycle along one space. So everybody here has played this before, and I did record it for the show, and then subsequently deleted it, and now we're recording again. So we have made a few changes. But none of these changes have been tested at all. This will be the first time we've played since the changes have been made. So we'll go through, I'll quickly run through the exploration cards with everyone. If you guys want to look at the cheat sheet as well, they have changed considerably.
Oh, exciting.
Including the relic idea that I think, was it David came up with the relic idea? I've stuck that in there as well.
I'll take the credit for it, providing it's good.
Yeah. It was a mutual relic.
So when you do your
Right.
explore action and you draw a card, it can be good, it can be bad, and it can change the face of the playing field. When an anomaly is drawn, it is a tile which gets placed down onto the board on an empty space tile and then changes what that space does. So as we noticed there's things like black holes and asteroid fields and planets, extra scoring stuff, things like that. If you draw a hazard, it gets played straight away. As you can see, there is a solar flare, which was a bit too powerful last time, so that's been toned down a little bit. And the pirates as well. They've both been toned down a little bit, so they're more of an annoyance rather than an outright.
So they're more of a Pirates of the Caribbean than they are Pirates in Space now, yeah?
Well, they were more like guidelines.
Yar. Okay.
Arr. But yeah, they've been toned
Yeah.
down. There's a lot.
Okay.
There's less of the strategic ones in there now, but the ones that are in there still do roughly the same thing as they did before. And now you can draw one of 4 relics, which will give you points at the end of the game. 3 of them are worth a point, and 1 of them is worth 2 points.
That looks good. I like the doorway.
Shelwyn's doorway, yeah, that is powerful in its theme. I mean, it does nothing apart from give you 2 points, but I mean the idea of what it does.
Right, one door opens, another door. Yeah, like it. Oh, it's closest, isn't it? Anyway, forget it. Too early for it.
So yeah, that's it. So David, if you want to take your he's already taken it. He's already produced another.
Yeah.
He was itching to go, wasn't he? He was, I think, wasting any time there.
Well, I've pre-planned my entire strategy, so.
And I believe he has.
He knows what he's doing. Will he do the same as before, and will he start spamming out these tokens? That is the question. Anyway,
as long as his strategy is if he isn't winning by turn 3, he's going to flip the board, then we're okay.
Yeah. Right. So is it me? Is it right? I think it is. Right. I'm gonna produce one ship. I'm gonna do a David.
Copycat.
There we go. Safety in numbers, I think.
So I will advise with the attacking as well. So the way the attacking works is still very similar, right? But now with your diplomacy for placing down control tokens, you cannot, as we discussed, remove other people's. So when you place tokens, you're placing them. To remove other people's tokens, you have to attack to remove them.
Okay, that is different fundamentally then.
But as you'll notice as well, the only scoring places on the board are the planets now. Basically, you're only putting control tokens down on space now to get the bonus 1 VP for having the most down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure it isn't one of the ones he doesn't want.
Exactly.
Oh, I think I'll keep that in my hand.
Oh, no, yeah.
I can see it. Should I be able to see it?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see it too.
What about now? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So why is the hand not working?
I thought did you have to use those immediately? Only don't, do you? No, but I can see. I'm not sure what. Maybe it's.
Let me shuffle it back in and pick another one, just for testing purposes.
Check.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why is that not working?
Might be one of the options you need to change or something. Is it the permissions or
let me see if I can fix it here.
Guys, is it in the modding or options?
It's up at the left here where you do the hands. Let me have a look.
There's an option where it says to hide what's in people's hands or whether it's hidden and stuff as well. You can toggle.
Yeah, when you import the cards, you've got the
it's in options. Yeah.
What you do with them.
Yeah, it's definitely set as it should be hidden, and the hand is in the right place. This is really weird.
If you use Alt and Shift, you can look at a face-down card. So put it in your hand face down, and then Alt and Shift over it, and you'll see it, but we won't.
Until we can figure it out.
Yeah, that might be the way. Sure, it's something simple. It normally is, isn't it?
Yeah, we can see that you're looking at it, but we then can't see it.
Okay.
So I then get to place this down anywhere. So I'm going to place it here. So you can't play, obviously, same as last time, you can't place it if you're on you pick a ship. If you can't place it on the tile that it's on, then you place it adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
right, okay. I'm going to produce.
He's building up. He's going with a different strategy this time, but it's...
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's hoping to just steamroll through us, I think.
That almost looks like they've all joined together to form the one ship, doesn't it? He's got some kind of beast over there.
Whose go is it?
Pat.
Pat, come on, Pat.
If I'm waffling, it normally is my go. I'm going to explore. Right, so I can now. My movement points are free, so that means I can move up to 3 spaces. Is it?
Yep.
Right. 1, 2. Right, I'll go here. That makes sense, does it? I don't know if it's any benefit to me being on there, actually, by the way, but probably not. Pick one of these out. Alt and shift job. Okay.
And is that one that you're keeping in your hand?
Yes, I think I have to keep it in mind, that one.
Okay, so I am going to diplomacy early. Which my diplomacy power is 2, so I can place 2 control tokens within 2 range. So the control tokens are now in the little bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea, because I remember last time they were
Disappearing under the table.
disappearing control tokens.
That's me.
Cool. I'm going to research.
What would you say to someone playing this game, Chris, is the most important statistic to upgrade or research?
Well, the thing is, we're trying to get them balanced so that they're all viable. So
I'm only saying that because I'm about to research, but I mean, if you just for the viewers out there.
for the viewers out there,
Yeah.
I would say that they're all quite powerful. Diplomacy power is going to allow you to place more tokens.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's only certain things that you can get points for when you have tokens. But
Yeah,
having
no,
the
it's
most
true.
tokens out is going to get you that extra point, and that extra point every cycle might help.
You know, I think you've got a valid point there, Chris. I'm going to research. I'm going to put my diplomacy power up. I don't know. I've just got an inkling that's a good idea.
Don't forget, you have to drop one down as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It is always a compromise, then, isn't it? Really. So, yeah, okay. When it mobilise range, closer to 0.
Okay. I am going to.
I'm gonna explore. So that's I've got my movement points allows me to move ships, doesn't it?
Yeah, just up to that many squares with as many ships as you want.
Okay, so we'll go there and there.
That is 4 though, isn't it? And you've only got 3 points. Because remember diagonal. Oh no, we decided diagonal was. Yeah, no, that's fine. Diagonal's okay. Yeah, diagonal is fine in this game.
Oh, okay.
And I've explored, so I can draw 1 card, can't I?
Yep.
Irrelevant of the fact that I've moved 2 ships.
Yep.
In my hand. Right, it's it is of course a red card.
But that's fine. You're fine. It's remove a control token.
Oh,
which
right.
You don't have any out, so you're fine. So that's good that you got it.
Oh, I played that well then.
Oh, they're not as bad. Okay, yeah, not too bad, are they? Right. Still searching for those relics. I'm going to produce another ship because I'm still crying about my solar flare.
You can't cry at a natural phenomenon.
These things. Meteor showers of tears.
I'll see a doctor about that. Okay, so my only real, if I attack that diplomacy and you've already used your actions, that makes perfect sense. So if I mobilize and remove your control token.
I think it would make sense.
That's everyone. So then we go to the scoring phase. So I have 4 points.
I've got 2. And Pat gets 1.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Pat gets 1 for having the most tokens. So even though he didn't get any decent things, he's still a point up. So that's good.
That's something, yeah.
And then we clean up phase. So we're on cycle 2, and we get our actions.
Oh, I was clearly got my diplomacy token. Don't want to do that. Yeah, cleaning up my action tokens. I think I do that. Well, I remember last game I was putting my diplomacy tokens on the action space,
Yeah.
and now I'm taking the diplomacy tokens back. Yeah.
No cleanup stuff from anything else. So that's it done. So then we move first player to Pat, and Pat, it's your go.
Okay. Right. Well, I think I better move or explore. My movement power is 3. I'm going to explore.
So I was thinking that
Mhm.
the relics, if you get relics to end the game, you can. I think this is a great mechanic where to end the game, if you were on like 48 points and you had 2 points worth of relics, you could reveal them to force the end of the game. I thought that was pretty cool. I've not put it in the rules because it's only as something I'm floating out there with you guys now. But what would you think about that?
It's an interesting twist, isn't it? I suppose either way, whether they've got 50, you potentially still pull ahead of them.
Yeah, I'd want to see how much the you get a runaway leader issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll make a better decision on that towards the end.
Yeah. Right. So whose go is it?
Yeah,
Me.
see how the margins are. I don't know. So I'm exploring, so I can. My movement's free, isn't it? So I'm gonna.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm doing myself any justice going back on this 2, isn't it? Well, a diplomacy token on it, but I suppose I'm defending it, kind of thing.
And then you get to draw a card.
Yeah. Well, let's pull another flame out then. Come on. Right.
So if I were to mobilise and
right now it's like before. I think it's 1 power versus 1 power, so you wouldn't be able to destroy or move my ship.
But with 3 movement points, that's 1 movement point, and that's then 2, isn't it? So I'm not close enough.
He's
No,
closing.
but
he's trying.
yeah, and my ship there blocks you from being able to take the token from underneath it.
He's closing the net.
So I am better off, in fact, exploring.
Yeah, to position them in a place for a future attack. Yeah.
And doing something like that, because that was 1, 2 movement and 1 movement with that one. So that's me 3 movement points.
Like he's planning on chasing you around the board, Chris. He's done that before. He's got previous for that.
I think I went too deep too quick because I'm I'm at his side of the board and I'm worrying him, and now he's building up his score.
Let me just do that. Look, hang on.
Is that wait. So what I'm getting from this is that you have half a board and then me and Patrick have a quarter of a board each, yeah?
Yeah. It looks about right, doesn't it? Right, okay.
I've still got to do some tile exploring. I've got cards.
Yeah. Pull your pirate out then.
Sounds like a euphemism. Wow.
I should be careful with that, yeah.
I think it was though, wasn't it? Because he just showed us what it was.
Well, I was trying a different syntax to see whether it was going to work. So there you go.
But it's still a pirate.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
Nope. Did it look like a pirate?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you've got some sort of the hidden part of the card. Then looks like a pirate.
He's got game master mode on.
So that when the card is face up in someone else's hand. So if I put my card in my hand face up to me, I am seeing the face of the card, and you lot can see a pirate. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
I know how to fix it now then. That's good. I can fix it after this. I know what.
Oh, it's not a pirate.
It is not a pirate.
So did that happen? Did you see a pirate when I flipped mine earlier?
Yes.
Ah, right. That's fine. Then you can use your
Which is what confused Pat when he thought that when he then drew a pirate.
Yeah,
I can fix it. I'll re-import the deck after I finish. That's fine. That's good. Yeah. That's a nice little.
It's just technical. Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
It's your go, Pat.
Bloody pirates. Right. Diplomacy. So that will actually score me something. The other home world, yeah.
No, because that's mine. You can't put it there. How are you putting it there anyway?
I've somehow stretched. I've gone across here, look, and come down, and from that one down to there. It has to be around my ships, doesn't it?
Yes.
Uh,
What are you doing?
Cheating.
I was just thinking, as long as
Plus,
you-
my homeworld is not fair game. The empty homeworld is fair game, but my homeworld,
right.
they will not be swayed with your government policies.
I just thought as long as it's adjacent to my own diplomacy tokens, that's okay. But no. Okay.
Yeah, get rid of them.
These three need to be moved.
Yes, they do.
So, right. Okay.
Some would say that's an act of war.
Yeah, maybe I'll put them back. Yeah, the technical problem there. Okay, take off that. Right.
And I'm not editing that out. I'm going to put that in.
Keep that in just to show people what not to do. Right, now I think moving the ships. Oh, try and mobilise. Move them. If I go through this entity class, this wormhole, I'll pop out the other side, won't I?
Yep.
Okay. Let's do that instead.
Bear in mind, it does cost 1 movement point to move between them because it's like moving from one space to another.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I'll do that with this guy. There we go.
Yep. And now you're coming at me from the other side.
There we go. Oh, but I get to explore as well, don't I?
Yeah.
Let's pull my pirate out. Be careful with that.
Stop saying that.
Stop saying that. I'll stop saying that. Right, okay. Oh, okay. Confirming it's not a pirate. And I can keep it for later, I believe. Yeah.
Right, I will keep producing a defense fleet.
Oh, he's had it off me.
You're doing too good.
Yeah.
As much as David's galactic tyranny is irking me,
Makes sense.
you sneaking in behind with all these green tokens in my space
I couldn't
is
help
not going to
myself.
fly.
Yeah,
Was
hang
that
on,
you, David?
Yeah, no, it's not me, but my bag is now underneath my hand.
Oh.
One sec.
Yeah, I just unlocked it so you can move. There we go. Yeah, that works actually. Better to have them down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, there's not a lot of room down here over this side, though. I think that's the issue why I didn't.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Just trying to think what to do here now. Can't force any retreats, can I? Can't do mobilise. I'm just going to have to explore. So 1, 2. There we go. I can pick up a thing. Well, let's see what it is. To you, it looks like a pirate, but to me, it's something else. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's the end of the round.
Okay.
Okay, so scoring. 5. I only get 5 points this round.
I've still only got 3 in terms of the areas I control. It's down to who's got the most again.
And Pat gets 6 from his
Tokens.
I don't know if he's got the most.
I've got 12 tokens on the map. I think Pat's got one more.
13, yeah. So Pat gets 7 points.
If you tied, is that just?
Nobody gets the points.
Okay. Right.
I think you were on 4, weren't you?
Oh,
were you on 5?
5, yeah.
So you're now on 12.
Wonderful. And then obviously, yeah, that makes sense because it's 6 and the bonus 1, isn't it?
Yep. And then take your stuff back, unless you want to use your switch allegiances, because there is. Now would be the time to use switch allegiance because there is that empty tile there.
There we go.
Which is worth, because the ships don't count. When it says empty, it means no control tokens.
There we go then.
There we go.
So even if you did that thing with the ship and you can't put a token down, I assume that would probably break it because it's something else.
Yeah, that's a special card.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we
Yeah.
go again, and it moves back to Dave first.
Now, I think one thing I noticed from the last game and this game is that the gameplay it's getting potentially a bit longer because the points scored are less. I think we were scoring some ridiculous things, weren't we, last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scoring
Yeah,
up
this is
15
pretty
points a
much
turn
fixed
or
that.
something.
By the look of it now, you should be getting around 50. The way we're going at the moment, you probably be around 50, around about the 12th cycle.
Yeah.
But there is a way
the
to
ideal
try and
balance that you're
yeah,
going for.
it's balanced it out a lot more. Whether it is balanced, I don't know, but it's balanced it more.
Yeah. That's as much as I want to move, I think. I only moved the one. Well, I wanted to cover that anomaly over there. I feel like it's under threat. Everything else is covered, so that's okay. That's me. Oh, but I get to pick up a thing, don't I? Oh, okay. I need to put this down straight away. Let's see. Adjacent to one of my ships.
to one of your ships in an empty non-planet space.
And if that's never, and if I suppose it's always possible, isn't it? Normally.
Generally, yeah. I've not
Okay.
the way the amount of tiles that are in there. I don't think you can get to the point where there's nowhere to put one.
I'll put it there. It's just
Yeah, it costs you 2 movement points to get out of that. So that's something you probably want to put in front of something that you don't want people to go to. In fact, you could mess people up by putting it right in the middle of the board.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it costs you 2 movement points to get out of it.
Okay. Well, in that case, sorry, David.
Scare David's ships off.
Oh, this is becoming an area control game.
Yes. I know you're not a big fan, but people do like them.
Yeah, I know. But it means, though, let's put a positive spin on this. It means that it's truer to the game that you are trying to design.
I think so, yeah.
Because the criticisms that we had when we played the previous version were the fact that you could just spam the amount of points that you were getting all the time, and that it was just about getting the most tokens out, and diplomacy was the broken action.
This is
with
what
it now, it is much truer to a proper area control game where I'm sitting here going, "Oh, get off that bloody space!" Which is so annoying. I can't get anything done because it feels like a normal area control game, and that's what area control games do to me. Is that they just frustrate me because I can't do what I want to do, but not in the same interactive way that a worker placement game would. Because I literally, the reason I get frustrated at area control games is that if you can't control an area, there is no alternative. In a worker placement game, if someone goes on the space that you're going to, there are other spaces available for you to come up with an alternative plan and find an extra way to achieve the ultimate end. When the ultimate end is controlling an area, the only thing you can do is control that areas.
If we move on to, discussing the game. So, what changes do you think we need to make now? Bearing in mind that we've played this last week and we've already made some big leaps and bounds, what do you think, even though you know it's a game that you probably wouldn't normally play, David, do you think will be good going forward?
Tricky. I mean, I don't know. Generally, when you try and approach these things from a professional standpoint, you're able to appreciate what your opinion is and dilute that from the accurate feedback. But there comes a point where you kind of go, well, I'm not sure I know the right answers. I think the changes you've made are significant. I think we've really moved quite a long way forward. The actions are all now balanced. You're having to make a lot more decisions on your turn. You're balancing the research has become more interesting because now that there's lots of diplomacy tokens out, I don't need lots of diplomacy tokens anymore. I need to rebalance myself in terms of combat as the game swings back towards that way. Have I missed the trend in terms of you guys have already got higher military strength than me? Have I missed the boat, or is there a way I can catch up?
Well, here's the thing on that point. That it's only 2 actions to get yourself all the way up to 2, and in that respect, you have all 6 ships out, which makes you a lot more powerful just from 2 research actions.
No, because my mobilised power is down, so it's 3 research actions for me to get up to 2 mobilised power.
Oh, because you put it down before, yeah.
Because it went down early to be able to get my dip up. So there is a little bit of a comeback on that. Difficult for me to say whether it is now trending too far towards military actions or whether that's actually the intent that you're going for in the game. As I say, it's now got to the point where it feels enough of an area control game for it to frustrate me. I don't feel like I can catch up. I don't feel like I can do what I want to do during a round because I plan to do something and then you move one ship in and move all my ships away, and I suddenly all the actions that I planned for the rest of the turn aren't relevant. But a lot of that is very much a player type thing. I go into every solar cycle knowing what 5 actions I want to do.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And
from
therefore,
my point of view,
the frustration then comes from not being able to do those actions because I've already made a plan. That is very much me as a player archetype.
Understood completely, because the other way around for me is that, yeah, I find that interesting that, the moving of the certain ships a place to stop somebody else and then them countering it with some maybe moving off to another system that I care about, that sort of thing I do find interesting. So I can see, but I can definitely see where some people don't like that kind of thing.
I'm not sure there's enough scoring opportunities because it seems like once you're holding down some of the 2-point spaces, that there's not much way that there's not an awful lot that people can do to score points other than try and take those off of you.
The diplomacy, the planets.
Yeah, I wonder perhaps whether you need to scale the points up slightly. At the moment we have 1 point and we have 2-point areas. So the lesser point area is worth half of what the bigger point area is.
I mean, we could, for one thing, we could add more different scoring methods. I mean, for the relics as well, I've just had a thought there with the relics. What if instead of relics being a secret thing in your hand, which, is a good mechanic in itself, but what if relics, when you gain a relic, they do go face up in front of you, and from then on, the relics score you that amount of points every turn when the scoring comes around?
Well, I've got the 2-point relic, and I've had it for a while.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So if you had them and you revealed them when you get them, and then they add to your scoring every time scoring comes round, it is a free point, or free 2 points, but that means that you've had to go looking through the Explore deck to try and find them, so it makes exploring a bit more important.
Yeah, I mean, just the point that I was getting to was that if you were to scale the points up ever so slightly, so that say that you put a point on both, now a 1-point area is worth 2/3 of what a 2-point area is worth. So just by changing the proportional values of the numbers, if you're having to control less lower point value areas to equal someone who's got fewer more point areas. Does that make sense?
Kinda. So explain again. So what would you?
So at the moment, the gold shield areas are twice as valuable as the silver shield ones.
Yes.
So they are twice as important. If they became 3 points and 2 points, they are no longer twice as important.
I get you.
So the battle doesn't focus solely on the 2-point areas, because controlling 3 2-point areas at the moment is twice as many points as controlling 3 1-point areas. And just by adding a point to each of them, you reduce the relative difference down.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. I think that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, so that's just a mathematical thing you can do. So often what we'll do with the maths in a development process is that you boil it down to the lowest common denominator. And this is going back to how you did maths in school. is that if you've got a game where you know everyone is scoring 100 points a turn, and you're ending up with trying to handle ridiculous maths, you go, well, actually, what's the lowest common denominator? Well, the lowest amount of points you can score from playing a card is 10. Right, well, we'll knock a naught off everything. Now you get 1 point for scoring a card, and you're only scoring 10 points per round. So that's looking at the maths from a lowest common denominator point of view. And then you're looking at the relative values of things, and the relative values is what we're discussing here. Is you're changing the relative value of the lower scoring areas to the higher scorer areas.
Yep.
And by adding a point onto each one of them, you're closing the gap between them.
Makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense.
Might not make a lot of sense to some people, but I've tried to explain it in a number of different ways so that it perhaps
No, I get it. I
got an
definitely
idea
get it.
of what I'm banging on about now. I'll shut up and let Pat do something other than maths.
And that's the sort of gold that we want to bring out in this show.
So
So now what happens now is when we release this, at that point when you start talking, we probably lose 50% of the people. But the 50% that stay are more enlightened by it.
They get something out of it, don't they?
you get the mathematical wanderings. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the military side of it a lot more than I did before. The last game was about spamming diplomacy tokens. This game was about, like David said, area control. And I enjoy area control. It's a subjective thing anyway, with the board games. For me, the last game went too quickly because everybody scored too fast and there were so many points coming in every round. You're coming out your age, you didn't know what to do with them. This time, and kind of ties into what David was saying, the points things went a bit more slowly. It was less fast paced. Okay, there's 12 solar cycles, but what you might end up doing is enjoying it up until solar cycle 7 or 8 and then saying, oh, well, it's taking too long. What's good? It's sort of back and forth. So what I will probably do is try and find a happy medium by increasing the points given to players through the planets. But the common denominator thing Dave was saying, tying it into that and saying, okay, well, as long as the 2 planets were, as long as there's an incentive to still defend the 1 planet, which they are at the moment, or the 1 squares, and the points difference wasn't huge between the 2 of them, even if you up the points, if you double the points and then changed it around a little bit, the game would move faster, but then you'd still have an incentive to defend the lowest scoring areas. So that's a point to make.
Yep. I think that the changing of the points, as David said there before, from 3 to 2, I think we probably need to test that or at some point.
That would help.
I think that would help with not the speed, the feel of the speed as well, the way your points are going to come.
Yeah, and I think that was a big thing for me. We've already mentioned we've got to clarify with the diplomacy token and the movement squares. We've already said that earlier about how to clear up what
make it easier to switch between them without getting
keep
confused.
Things intuitive and consistent.
You just need to basically reduce the number that you refer to as being diplomacy range.
So range 0 is the tile you're on.
Range 0 is the tile that you are on, rather than it being range
1. The relics, you could show them.
Here's the thing I've just thought about as well. There's nothing stopping me having a revealed and unrevealed points cost. There could be a case with a relic where if you get a relic, you can reveal it and gain a point every scoring, or you keep it to the end of the game and get 3 points. You could use it either or, but obviously if you use it during the scoring cycle, you then don't get the end game.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting balance then.
That means that if you get it like in the last,
work the numbers.
Yeah. Also, if you get it in the last couple of cycles, you're probably not going to get as much from having it for scoring.
I mean, it's either that or chuck them back in at the end of every round, shuffle them again, and then every round you've got an incentive to try and explore again to see if you can get the relics back.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that.
Because,
so you have to.
Yeah, nothing's permanent, because the problem is, as soon as all the relics come out, they knowingly come out, all the other rounds, people are saying, well, what's the point of exploring? Because I'm not going to be able to get any points. So I think that would kind of solve that problem.
Yeah, no, this is all good stuff for thinking about.
So there's that. See the rest of it, yeah. Tied up the movement. The I would still give potentially 2 points for the most diplomacy tokens to this because they felt a lot less powerful this time, apart from the capturing of the planets. And maybe look at the person with the most ships as well. So it's not all necessarily about having 1 or 2 ships down with the highest mobilized power. That's actually, have you been developing your fleet as well? Give people a reason to produce more ships.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 suggestions where I would be getting catch-up points because I've got the most tokens down and I've got the most ships.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that like the most ships out. If you have the most ships out, then yeah, 2 points during scoring makes sense. And also, yes, having the most tokens out, bumping that from 1 point to 2 points as well would.
Yeah, one just seemed a little bit. I guess there's some kind of bias there because if we played the last game, and that's what it's all about. But I still didn't feel that rewarded for doing the diplomacy action, and I know I could capture places with it, but I still think it's quite. The blank spaces kind of felt like empty voids. Excuse the pun. So.
But again, that's where the exploring comes in because there's quite a lot of those anomalies to fill up the empty spaces.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's what I was going to try and go for next. Was I'm going to stop trying to fight Chris over this planet because I'm never going to win. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to explore, use the fact that I've got loads of ships. I'm going to explore under all of the tokens I've already got down in the hope that I'll pull out some points.
Yeah, which is a tactic I deliberately have in there so that you can just immediately explore yourself a 2 point plan.
We can get round to it.
Great. Yeah.
Perhaps then is there scope for some sort of exploration power where there's ways of increasing the amount of cards you can draw because it feels like
that's another thing I was thinking about for the green strategic cards is having one that when you play an explore action, instead of drawing 1 from the top, you can draw 3, pick 1, and then shuffle the other 2 back in.
I just meant more in general because I've got 6 ships and I've got 3 movement. I can theoretically and thinking thematically, I can explore 3 different portions of space at the same time, and I draw 1 card and only find 1 thing. And if I had 1 ship and 1 movement, I would get exactly the same amount of cards.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It doesn't. There's a logic there that doesn't quite sit right in terms of when you approach it from the theme side of things.
I did think about this as well, actually. I was thinking of removing the range thing and just making the ships 1 range, and that way that reduces that, and then putting an extra stat in there, which was going to be something else. So removing the range or an extra 2 stats because removing range on both This is the thing. I don't know whether the range makes a big difference.
I didn't bother with it, but I suppose if
I think mobilise range is perhaps the one that doesn't make the most sense.
Yeah, just drop it because I mean, the fact that you have to take your ship to the same square makes sense from a mobilised point of view.
Yeah,
but then you're forced to make other interesting decisions about with the remaining stuff. Oh, okay. Well, if I do that, it's going to have some significant consequence because at the moment, the mobilised range just feels like a freebie for dropping stuff down.
Yeah, I agree completely.
To perhaps replace mobilise range with scanner power or something, and that determines how your card draw works. Your medium level is your
1 card.
You want to go down the route of choice is the draw 2, pick 1. Your top level is the draw 3, pick 2, and your bottom level is draw a card and put it down.
Yeah, you could potentially chuck in some space trash in there. You could have, if you're allowing people to get more good stuff out there.
Yeah, it needs to be padded. There's only 30 cards in there at the moment, so we need to pad that out more.
Space junk, that just didn't do anything. It just, the potential you could explore and find nothing, but then because you're exploring more, it's not going to matter as much because there's other good stuff in there as well.
I mean, then you've got the option of if we're increasing the point scoring of the things that are there already to 3 and 2, then you've got some space for some trash in the deck with stuff that only scores 1. Or could you have stuff that's temporary in there? Could you have a visiting comet that's only on the board for a round, but it's worth 4 points if you control it at the end of that round, and then the comet goes away again.
Yep, I've got that one down, Dave. I've got a few where it's they come out and there's a set of tokens, and you place a token on the board until the next cleanup, and then it goes again, that sort of thing.
Cool.
Anyway,
Thanks,
so
guys.
yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We will leave that there, and we will see you on the next episode.